altogether, it's a spread of activity that we see that's pretty equal, right? So we got 5 on one side, 5 on the other. We've got a spread of equal distance-spaced 4s and 5s. Whether you want to say those 4.9s or 5s, it doesn't matter. It's an equal spread of the same-sized earthquakes, starting where our deep earthquakes are, and then going all the way out and dead-ending into North America, where at the northern slope, no doubt about it at this point, they're doing major oil and gas extraction up here. And they were even talking about this at the latest presidential rally. And I'm not against it, guys, okay? They've done the earth-penetrating tomography to figure out where the oil is, so they don't have to go around and do a bunch of drilling everywhere to try to find it. They can go right to it. You know what they used to do that? To identify the northern slope oil deposits? They used HAARP, the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, up here in Alaska. And what they used the high frequency for is amazing. The high frequency was used to generate plasma up in the upper ionosphere and atmosphere. That plasma becomes a visible air glow like northern lights. That visible air glow and plasma generates what's called VLF, very low frequency, and it resonates like a bass drum up in the upper ionosphere and atmosphere. They can direct it, the ball of plasma up in the atmosphere, by the modulation of the wave, and so they can turn it and face it back down to ground. And then they can shoot the VLF, like radar, down into the ground, which it penetrates down into the crust very far. And it reflects back up, converts back to high frequency once it hits the plasma again, and they are able to detect it and actually image, like radar, using earth-penetrating tomography from high frequency to create low frequency from plasma up in the upper ionosphere. Now, why am I telling you all that? That gets us into our earthquake that struck down here in Texas this morning, 8 a.m. Texas time, 8:04. Wake up, everybody. There's a 4.0. Now, I need everybody to wake up a little bit more, and I'm probably going to have to red pill you to do it. Let's go over and check in telecast and bring you back in time. We go back in time. Oh, this is a perfect time to jump on in telecast. We go back in time to 4 a.m. this morning, when I was on this morning and we were talking about the weather, and we decided to go check out the fires on the West Coast, spent a little time doing it, ended up coming over here to Intellicast, and I turned on the storm tracking here. Storm tracking, Titan storm tracking computer tells us what's inside each storm. And my eye was drawn over here to North Texas, where last night it was a clear night in North Texas. There was no storms or anything like that, and there was a strong cell detected here. See where this says strong cell storm? Now you zoom in and you have strong cells being detected. Well, look at this. We've got a strong cell right now over Southern California, out here over the desert, right over Pisgah Crater. Look at that. Directly over Pisgah Crater right now, we have a strong cell storm detected in Southern California. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. Now, this happened last night right here in Texas. A storm on a clear night detected. And my eye was drawn to it. I came over and looked at it. We went and looked at the radar. And I showed all my viewers, hundreds of people, live last night, or this morning, 4 a.m. We went and looked at the radar station in Amarillo, Texas. All right, why does that matter? Why does Amarillo, Texas matter? Well, this thing that you're seeing here now live on the radar, imagine one of these over here, okay? And it's centered over Amarillo, which then led me to go look up the radar, and we spent about an hour talking about Amarillo at 4 in the morning. Well, imagine my surprise when I wake up today and I find out 4 hours later, Amarillo, Texas, got hit with an extremely rare 4.0 earthquake that struck directly below the spot where we saw the weird storm return last night on a clear night. Here in Amarillo, last night, strong cell storm detected over this where the star is 4 hours before your earthquake hit. Now, there's something at this location that I think you need to see that tops it all off, as if that's not weird enough. So, a series of radar pulses. Well, what does radar pulsing have to do with any of this? Radar, when it pulses, does the same thing that HAARP does up in Alaska. When radar, NEXRAD radar, goes into pulse mode, it will pulse between 0 and 19 megahertz. Now, HAARP works 0 to 10 megahertz in that bandwidth. So they overlap. And when you pulse the radar in high frequency, it creates electron cascade. Imagine scuffing your feet across the carpet and building up a charge inside your body like a capacitor. Well, the same thing happens, but it happens up in the atmosphere. And it happens from our high-powered microwave stations, which are the radar stations. And that causes electron cascade, which then goes down to ground. Instead of pulling electricity from the ground, it drops it into the ground. It's amazing. Well, it causes earthquakes in some instances, and look what's right next to. Here is our spot where our strong cell was detected last night on a clear night. And you zoom in, and you have a bunch of drilled oil wells. Well, the oil wells are shafts made of metal that go down into the ground many miles in some instances or spread out. Now, that can mimic a VLF antenna. If it goes down several thousand feet or spreads out several thousand feet, all of a sudden, an oil well, if charged right with the right amount of energy, could theoretically act like a conduit for a VLF wave to either be generated or received. That's really interesting because we've got ourselves VLF waves showing up over here across the Atlantic, being detected on a microwave system called MIMIC. Gets very complex in explaining how that works, but same principle is that the VLF will convert to high frequency. The high frequency then converts to plasma. The plasma then reflects microwaves, and we can see the dang thing on the MIMIC. And it shows up as a giant wave taking multiple hours to go across the whole planet. Now, in this case, this earthquake, this 4.0, striking here in Texas, no doubt about it, related to the storm that was detected last night that wasn't really a storm. It was an energy collection, if you will, and the radar played into that, them pulsing it. They were creating their own wind event that was going on. Now, I'm very concerned with what's going on over here in Southern California, the location. This is the spot where we had a mystery plume of moisture show up back in 2011. The exact same spot, down to the point, right here. Now, I'm interested. I want to go look and see if there's anything going on in Southern California right now. This is live. I haven't had a chance to even go look it up. There's something going on out there. Yeah, oh yeah, there is. Take a look. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Pisgah Crater of all the things, of all the times. Tonight. Look. Moisture, heavy moisture return. Where's that coming from? Heavy moisture return. That's just southeast. We have a strong cell detected here. We can go find that based upon where the highways are. Pretty easy to do, actually. So we can turn our roads on and turn on our borders and labels. Come in and take a look. It's coming from right down in here. What do we have here? We have Amboy Crater. It's coming from Amboy Crater, where we have the heart on the inside. Heart stacked on the inside. No doubt about it. Let's show you where the highways are so you can see. Here's the highway. Comes out and goes in a straight line. The other one goes up at a wedge shape. They come together. Highway 40 comes together in a wedge, I guess. And we can go back over. Here's where the wedge is. And we come over here. Here's where it originates. And then it fans out, and that's our most current image. Right here is our most current image. So it starts here and is blown over the highway at this point. Started basically right back here. Oh, wow, I can't believe it has. It started right at Amboy Crater and then is gone. It's on the National Trails highways where it started off to the side of, and then is gone and blown up over here to the west, and it's detected as a strong cell storm on a clear night. There's nothing actually there. There's no rain actually falling. That's steam coming out from a volcano, guys. Live right now, 10:43 p.m. on the do you want to get the word out or something? Anybody want to talk to the people in California? I'm showing you physical evidence of a steam return. Let's go look at the hydrometer classification on this, just to settle it and see if it's showing up as much. Yeah, you bet it's showing up as moisture. Look, it's showing up as frozen moisture. Look, it's not showing up as dust. Well, there we go. Okay, I mean, that answers the question. Hydrometer classification seals the deal. There's no doubt about it. All right. We even have hail detected in there. Hail. Hail detected. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, you know what? This is why you check it live. This is exactly why you check it live. You need to look at the radar and look critically minded. Do not accept what any meteorologist says when they say it's an error or whatever. A strong cell storm detected over a volcano. You look at it, you've got a hydrometer classification. Now, this same thing happened last night over Amarillo, but there's no volcano there. There's drill points. There's oil wells. But a strong cell storm showed up over Amarillo 4 a.m., and by 8 a.m., they have a very rare 4.0 earthquake. It's tied together. So this is all ongoing. Out in Southern California, right now, live, 8:45 p.m., Amboy Crater out in the Mojave Desert East has just vented something. What? Steam, likely. Likely a burst of steam. A phreatic blast, like small fumarole, of actually pretty big. Pretty big, actually, for that to be seen like that. Now, it's dark, or going to be dark, or is almost dark there. Would people see it? I don't know. Probably not. 4.0. Maybe they did. Who knows? 4.0, that's where we're starting on this, and I've got a lot more to talk about. A 3.1 hit about 15 minutes before. So first, the 3.1, then the 4.0 across the area. Would you believe there's a drill point at this spot as well? Do I need to show it to you? I'll show it to you. I can't believe this is all happening right now. I cannot believe Amboy Pisgah Crater is having a steam event of all the times right now. Oh, man, I can't believe it. I hope you guys spread the word. I'm saving this as a video over on YouTube. So where are we? In Oklahoma? We're at another drill point. There's the jack and the pump, the wellhead, and so forth. But I want to get back over to the West Coast, guys. We got a volcano doing something over on